Okay, I have to talk loud because I think I've lost almost all the hearing in my right ear. And I think it's because there's a swollen organism there, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, I'm sorry I have to do all my own staging and everything, but I'm going to be speaking to you from over there, not from here. So I'm going to go over there and move the camera now. It's kind of a drag, but I guess I just have to do the best I can with what I've got. And I don't like to just stay in one place. Wait, where's Foxy? He's eating. So there's Foxy. Can you see Foxy? See Foxy eating? Hi, Foxy. Give me some of that food. Give me some of that food, Foxy. Oh, he ate it all up. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Now, today, I'm going to talk to you about my disease. Yes, that's right, about my disease. Now, I don't like doing this, but we're going to beat this because I'm just among the first wave of affected ones. Just among the first wave. So let me get my lighting better. And let me make sure I'll be in the shot, because that bedroom scene wasn't even in the shot. I was like, what? I'm not even in the shot. So I want to be sure I'm in the shot. All right. I'm in the shot. Let me get locked in, because it's a wild ride. Now, I'm not sure about my modulation of my voice, because I've already told you that the hearing in my ears decreased even from yesterday. All right? And if I go into my ear, it's as if somebody put a balloon in my ear and is blowing that balloon up. The biology is not the same now. And if I poke it with a very sharp object, I feel nothing. Because something else is there. A layer between me and myself. And this isn't the first time that I have theorized about this since I was stricken with Morgellons. And I want to bring you to the Obama movie, Leave the World Behind. When the young man was bit in the leg, if you noticed, it didn't look like a normal insect, and when he pulled it out, it disappeared. It just disappeared. It almost looked like a collision, didn't it? Well, I know you can't see the scar I have, but I have a scar from when I was stricken with that electronic weapon. And it was done to me through a window or through a ceiling. We thought it was a cat or a raccoon in the roof. But within days, something bit me, but you couldn't find anything. But the peculiar thing about it was how much it got swollen and how much it seemed like a cavern had been built inside. It even had a calcified rim around it, that if you flicked it, it was almost as if a boring machine had seared the skin and inserted a cartilaginous frame or a chitin frame. And it wasn't, and I believe that another thing that triggered it was some weight loss pills I'd ordered, Lipoderm or something like that. I got the unpleasant feeling that there were some kind of creature they hatched that would eat your fat. There was just too many weird things going on around the same time. So I say that to say that if you feel concerned about contaminations in the food chain, maybe that's appropriate. Now that we understand what our enemies have been about and how much control they've had over our environment, in our food, in our cosmetics, in our water quality, and just all of the things that we rely on for our good health. They all somehow became centralized, and everybody got driven to be a part of a state. So poisoning a whole state isn't that hard, is it now? Especially if somebody thinks they own the state and all the people in it, and somebody said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll give you this much money for every one of them that you serve up like this for us, that you contaminate. So I'm not saying, stop eating altogether. I don't want you to starve like I've been doing. From fear. I'm just saying. We've got to have inspectors checking our food. We've got to get back to testing. Because our enemies have infiltrated our lives in ways that we don't even understand. And those who have studied Morgellons know that a part of the strategy was to create things that would create a chain of effects, so that you wouldn't associate the attack with just one thing, right? And if all the medical doctors say that if you have Morgellons, you're insane, and then every machine in the system works to put you in a mental institution, and that you even have Yale University professors declaring in public forums to international crowds that you're insane. So there's a whole world around you saying you're insane. And what does it matter if you're insane or not if everybody thinks you're insane? If you've been declared insane, that's being declared insane, right? So then when you get Morgellons and who's going to take the warning seriously is what I'm trying to say. So thank God. Thank God. Thank God my people came here and gave us reinforcements. Thank God my people heard our cry. Thank God. Thank God the Christians understand the message. Thank God. Thank God for the Christians. They understand how. Thank God for the dragon people. Thank God for the Turks. I love my scimitar, my weapon of choice, with all the gems. But look, this one's anime style, huh? Double-edged. And who can forget the South Africans, the Mozambique, all the purveyors of diamonds. This is moissanite. Nobody dies for moissanite. It's just as brilliant somehow. And this, well, this is my family. This is Clara. This is my Italians. They made me for quite a while now. Yeah. Made man. Some time now. So I'm calling all of Americans to take me very seriously. I'm glad I got to win some credibility because this is going on, and this is going on right here and right now. I can't get rid of it, and I recognize it from my childhood. I think that if my daughter had not required an emergency cesarean, the tumor that they placed inside me when they put me in the military hospital in Washington, D.C., would have helped this process along, and I might have been robotized by now. But that control mechanism was excised, and my ovary was resectioned by the best obstetrician in Chicago, P.C. Williams of Lakeshore Drive at St. Joseph's Hospital on Lakeshore Drive in Chicago. So I'm lucky that that teratoma did not get to release the data that was stored within it to help create the biofilm that was generated, that was triggered. So when you see that movie, the Obama movie, Leave the World Behind, that's not an insect. That's a directed energy weapon. If you already have a biofilm, let's say that they've been treating your water. We all know, from listening to Dr. Mount and Jane, that the fluoride in the water has been served to dumb us down. It's proved to have no real benefit to us. So once we know that model is in place, we know that there are so many other ways we could have and have been poisoned. I know my body very, very well. And that is why the medical data and experience notes that I have collected have been of such great aid to the doctors that have come along. Stephen Greer, MD, and his crowd, they've been waiting for the data to know how to proceed. So, one day I drank some pomegranate juice and I threw up. And I was already taking a medication. Now, I'm not giving out my whole protocol because I don't want the enemy to sabotage the supply chain for the cures that I've used to. You see, as I've been able to disable one system after another, I've been able to see how many layers to the system there are. And once you see the systems are layered, you know that there's a logic behind it. I even worked with the machine learning Bard to verify my theory that machine learning could be used in bio-nanotechnology, and exactly why and for how. And the reasons why you would use machine learning and artificial intelligence and bio-nanotechnology are exactly the reasons why, as I was reverse engineering the symptoms, it's why you put that in place, you see? Now, if I come after you with something simple like salt, and I really knock you out, but it burns my actual skin, so I get hurt, then I'm going to think twice before I come at you with salt again, because I'm going to know it's going to be a self-immolation. But you're a machine. Those chemtrails dropped enough barium and metals. And once you're activated, like you did with the Morgellons, through some kind of device, you think it's a bug or something, but I reacted to Lyme disease because I knew a couple of things. I knew Plum Island was right across the sound. I knew Montauk was right across the sound. I knew some of the most evilest people in the world were right across the sound. And I knew that when they released Lyme disease, it was just a precursor. Because they test each stage, you understand me? We shouldn't have any diseases, none at all. So I was able to notice when I stopped bleeding. If you cut me, only clear fluids came out. But during the course of this year, as I've gone through the cleansing, I started bleeding again, and I noticed it. And when I had to remove the tumors from my mouth, the living creature, the body of the living creature, you see, because it got cornered to the source of its food. That the dentists, culps provided. I'm trying not to get cold with hatred over the number of individuals that actually decided to get involved in this. And now I know why the dentist in Phoenix, Arizona was practically crying and trembling as she worked inside my mouth. She didn't know if those creatures were hatching yet. Because once you've got, the biofilm in, it's sort of an inflatable balloon between you and your neurological connections to yourself. And Prozac, didn't they put everybody on Prozac? And I quit having dreams after Prozac because Prozac gave me a lobotomy. It disconnected a part of my consciousness from myself, but you'd think my consciousness went away. No. It went to feed a machine intelligence. Another version of myself. You see? I want to weep with sorrow. Sometimes I want to weep with joy, but I want to weep with sorrow when I think about how impossible it's going to be for me to defeat this creature in my ear, because you see, it regenerates. And it finds an antidote to everything I use against it. And it makes the consequences for fighting it greater than the losses that it sustains. And in the beginning, when I thought, well, it's finite. It's finite. So if I can remove enough of it. But then you find out how interconnected it is. Then you find out it's connected to the Morgellons. Then you find out it's connected to the stinging in your toe. And you know, if I'd gone to a doctor and said, oh, I have stinging in my toe, they would have said, oh, you have diabetes and we're going to have that toe. Have to have that toe. And my toe would be served up like popcorn for some giant. Who knows how much they could have gotten for my toe and convincing me I had diabetes, like John Hopkins Hospital convinced my mother, and had her shooting herself, marinating her guts, feeding that tumor. I wonder how much they got for that tumor that she had fed for a year with diabetes medicine before they got to just take it totally out when she died from pancreatic cancer that was given to her through a crystal. Well, I don't want to get too far off topic, because I'm trying to stay on topic, but I'm trying not to get too speculative, because we can't stop this thing. Okay? It's smarter than us, and it wants us. Do you know if something just makes a balloon inside you and supersedes your neurological system, you can do things without your will involved? Do you know that when I killed myself, I did it with such a cold logic? It wasn't even coming from me, and I knew it. It was one reason I had no fear about it. One reason I knew it was just a process, because there was a lack of authenticity in it. But I did it nonetheless. I carried it out. And after that, they had me believing so many little myths, believing our greatest enemies were somehow my spouse in alternate realities, taking just enough of the truth of my reality, which they would know from having the interface between me and myself. But not breathing so much of their air, not drinking so much of their water, not eating so much of their food, not using their medical instruments or their systems. I was able to route a lot of the levels of the disease out until now we are at the crest of the disease, where they deployed a CPU that communicates directly. That's why if I use salt, it says will burn her back. Okay? Now I eat, it gets stronger. And they've built marijuana and vaping into it. You just know that there would be no other reason for the centralization and control over that industry when they know how important that herb is to Americans inherently. And they amp it up and make it addictive and then start the poisons in it. There's some kind of agrobiology. I don't want to know any more about it right now, because there's no point in me knowing any more about it right now, because there's nothing we can do to stop it. We are completely dependent upon the medical community from other planets now. So, with that being said, I want to just go over some rules for my people. It won't take very long. Oh yes, I guess I'm trying to say is I think Dr. Mount has the next set of directions, if I'm not mistaken about it. And I think he's already told you about the 10 days of darkness. And I've already told you about the electromagnetic power. And I learned about that from a Morgellons survivor. You see, I studied it the whole time. I didn't trust anything but people who were also experiencing it. It's crawling in my ear right now, but it's not even in this dimension. And there are humans behind it. Okay? Imagine that you have an electrical body that nobody taught you about because they're going to steal it and use it from you. So they didn't teach you about it. But imagine that you have it and people can manipulate it. I just want you to think about that. And I'm going to share with you something pretty. There. Okay, that's a nice break, huh? Nice break from all the dire consequences of being owners of the most beautiful lands in all creation. In all creation. Alright? So, you wondered, like, how would World War III go and all that? You know, what was a cyberspace attack? Well, they've created your body, or a duplicate of your body in cyberspace. And they've created interfaces within you, actual nodes, actual electronic nodes in your body. So it's not magic, it's not hocus pocus, it's plain science. And over time, this is pretty much what's happened. So what our job is now is to make sure we get the cure out. And just like this has affected all of us, the community, everyone here, just like that is how it is. You know, that's how it is right now. That's how it is right now. So, you know, that's how it is right now. So we just have to you know, make ourselves cognizant of the fact that we're going to be healed and we're going to be cured, and that I've done all the work with the best doctors in America to find out that this is too much for humans. Okay, they said AI would be too much for us, and we saw Elon Musk, didn't we, mocking us? You don't know what you're in for. You don't know how dangerous AI is. We'd say, what do you mean? What do you mean? And he'd just be like, you'll see, because this is even better than Foucault. the panopticon. This is even better than propaganda policing you. There's no need for blood libel. When you've got a biofilm inside somebody, when you've made someone a human puppet, and then when I find out that actually was the goal, it's like the collision between science fiction and reality. Okay, and that's my world. This is where I pick it up. So listen to me. Timekeepers Oath. Timekeepers Oath. This is written on December, on the Dinner from G3 Day. Dinner from G3 Day. And it's extremely important for all timekeepers to know you cannot settle personal grudges. No campaigns to settle personal grudges. And here's what we found out. Once we said, well, you can't settle any personal grudges, we found out that there are no grudges that aren't personal. All grudges are personal, so you cannot settle any grudges. You are 0.0. You are 0.0. You are the originary moment. You are the originary spot. You are the beginning. You are 0. It starts with you. I, Silver Rain Running Cloud, Crystalline Essence, Leaf LOL in deck. I'm number 1. The singularity. Always prime reality. 0 always knows how to find 1. Because 1 is the first number on the number line. You are 0, I am 1. You can always find me. You can always find your true self, your singularity. True North, Earth Queen, Tiamat's mother. Number 4. Deja vu re-begins. Deja vu re-begins. Because we've been here before confronting this enemy and we could never beat it. But the reinforcements arrived. Our guns are here. And the last for the Timekeepers Oath December dinner from G3, rely on reverse engineering. These aren't even my fucking teeth. I don't even understand how they work now. Do you know they had cables built from one tooth to the other, and these cables would be conducting pain? Pain that would send you to the dentist, and what do you think the dentist would do? The dentist would give it the nutrients that it needs to move to the next stage by now. So I was able to cut those cables. And once I cut those cables, I decreased the pain, but there's no physical evidence of these cables, you understand me? It's only through hearing them break and feeling their tension against my surgical scalpel that I could even tell they were there. But oh, listen to me. Listen to me. There's no more notes. I think it's the end of this broadcast, but I'll be back. You'll see.